What is going on, boys and girls of YouTube? I bet you did not expect this. Football Manager content on the Verstorix channel. We normally do ETS, Euro Truck Simulator. We normally do Smite, but anyone that knows me and has known me for a while knows Football Manager is my one true love. And I have played Football Manager for the last 12, 13 years, something like that. It's been, I think 2008, 2009 was my first Football Manager. So I've been playing it a number of years now. And while the way I've played it has decreased over time, it's still very much a game I enjoy. And as we're playing the beta of Football Manager at the moment, I thought it would be good to show you how I got on with my first season in the beta save. Obviously, with the mighty Wolves, not having the best season in real life, really not having the best season in real life. I think there's a lot of problems at Wolverhampton Wanderers at the club itself, at a board management level. So let's get into Football Manager 2023 and season number 1 with Wolverhampton Wanderers. So welcome in, guys, to the Wolverhampton Wanderers page and its new era under the Verstorix Gaming channel. This is me, Ashley Moore. Apparently we've got a 3-star reputation. That's pretty good. We've got a 58% win rate, which I think is excellent in the Premier League. You can see down here that we finished 5th. So, season 1, finished 5th. A bit of an up and down season, really. I mean, I know we finished 5th in the league, but it was an up and down season. It really was. We, first part of the season, we were atrocious. We were flirting with relegation at the start of the season. Things were not great at all in the start of the season, as we can see from the schedule here. If I go back to the top, you can see very much a mixed bag of results. We were flirting with relegation all round here. We had a couple of big games where we won some really good points. I mean, the win here against Chelsea, playing a 4-3-3, that was a superb win. So was the win over Man United here, the 1-0. That was a very good win as well. But we were very inconsistent. We were struggling to pick up points, and at one point, it genuinely looked like I was going to get sacked. It was going atrociously. And then after I'd obviously been trying different formations. The 4-2-3-1, that hadn't worked very well. We were stuffed by Arsenal, stuffed by Villa in the first time using the 4-3-3, a version of the 4-3-3. And then smashed both Forest and Chelsea. And I thought, oh, this might actually work. And then, as you can see, we went right off the boil. 3-0 win there, which was good. But you can see we went off the boil. We couldn't score. We weren't conceding, but we couldn't score. And we only just managed a very, very lucky 2-0 win over Grimsby. And I thought at that point, we've got to change something. So I went to a 4-2-3-1 using DMs rather than midfielders, using DMs. That seemed to work against Man United, and then it looked atrocious against Bohemians, and I thought, oh, that ain't going to work. Then I played the 5-2-3. It was average against Fleetwood. I probably should have changed way before the Southampton match. I probably shouldn't have gone with it for the Southampton match. We ended up losing 4-1, and that was the end of the 5-2-3. And then in the Leeds game, we went back to the 4-2-3-1 DM that we'd played previously. That did relatively well against Leeds, so we thought, right, we'll play it again against Newcastle. Lost 3-0, got absolutely stuffed. I mean, this match was absolutely devastating for the team. We were outdone in every department. Like, I know it says we had more shots, but our chances were not anywhere near as good as theirs. Nowhere near. We decided, right, we'll go back to an iteration of the 4-3-3. That's the one that seems to have done us well so far. It's when we stopped conceding as many goals. So I thought, we'll go back to that. We'll go back to some kind of 4-3-3. We played against Swindon, and we looked good attacking-wise. Looked a bit shaky in defence. Nathan Collins and Totti were not the guys. We had a good win over West Ham. In this game, we brought in Victor Nelson, a new signing here at Wolves, and also Max Gilman into that backline. And they seem to do a lot better with the ball. And a good 1-1 penalty win over West Ham. We then beat Chelsea, and we beat them pretty comfortably, I believe. So as you can see here, while the XG in terms of shots, is very similar. 15 shots each, 5 on target each. We had a much better XG, 2.02 to 1.14. We didn't really dominate the game. It was a very even game, but they completed a bit more passes. We fouled a little bit more. But we had the start of something. You see here, Nelson didn't really play that well, and I think he was the reason behind us actually conceding quite a few shots. But Pedro Neto opened the scoring for us, if it's going to load it. So Pedro Neto opened the scoring for us. It was headed away from a free kick, I think it was, into Neto, and Neto just drives straight at the team, straight at Chelsea, and just blasts it into that near post. A nice little goal to get us off the mark. 4 minutes into the game. And then Guedes finishes the game off in the 73rd minute. Pedro Neto wins the ball. Well, Ronan wins the ball. Plays it across. Guedes is there. And at that point, 2-0 win over Chelsea. I thought, you know what? We might have the start of something here. And we went on to play 1-0 over Forest. We drew 3-3 with Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semi-final. First leg. We went on to lose that leg, that semi-final, which was unfortunate, but when you see how good Arsenal are in the game this year, then you'd be proud to lose 4-3 on aggregate, you know what I mean? We went on then to win against Tottenham, a 4-2 win, and once we beat Chelsea 2-0, we beat Tottenham 4-2, I thought, you know what? This could genuinely be our games. Sasa opened the scoring in the 8th minute. I genuinely thought once we got this going with this formation and we were playing these big teams and we weren't doing too badly, I thought this is it. We have found our formation. My light keeps playing up. Smido into Kalisic. Lloris probably should have done better there. Probably should have done better. And then Neto doubled our lead in the 34th minute. Guedes into Smido. Smido plays it through. Neto with the goal. I noticed that through balls seem to be working quite well. So this pass into space option, I think that might work. Son, then pulled one back in the 58th minute. A bit of a poor showing by Jose Sarr, really. But Raul Jimenez pops up in the 71st minute. Raul Jimenez has been on fire for me this season. Nice header at the back post. Nice to see that those are still OP. And then Neto completes the route in the 94th minute. Beautiful ball by our new DLP Mansverk. Beautiful. Was that outside the foot? Let's have a look at it again. Look at this. Outside the foot, look. Oh, that is beautiful. Into Pedro Neto, and he just has to finish it off nice and simple. So, after that, we carried on our win streak. We had a 1-0 win over Leeds, a 4-1 over Newcastle, a 4-2 over Brighton. We lost to City, which was unfortunate, a 3-0 defeat there, and a 3-0 win over West Ham. Going into March, we had the FA Cup 5th round. We smashed Wigan. We didn't even put out our main team. We put out a rotated team, and we absolutely stuffed them. We then stuffed Leeds 4-1. Raul Jimenez getting 3 goals. We stuffed Southampton 3-0. Gilman, Guedes, and Jimenez again. Then we get to the FA Cup quarter-final. I thought I really want to win this FA Cup, so I'm going to put out a strong team. Raul Jimenez scores 3 goals. And I go, you know what? I'm going to take him off, let him have a round of applause, you know, blah, 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 blah. I'll bring Sasa on. Sasa comes on and goes, well, I'm not going to stand for that because I want to be the main striker here. And he goes and scores 2. It was like, oh, I've got 2 really good strikers. So Raul Jimenez with the first one. We're going to show it you here now. As you'll see a bit later on in the video, I'm not sure what we're going to do with Raul Jimenez at the moment. Part of me wants to keep him. Part of me thinks he's getting on now. Raul Jimenez pressing forward there. Takes the ball off the man. Just puts it into the back of an empty net. He then scores again 9 minutes later. Again, winning the ball in the back and just slotting it past the keeper. That's 2 goals where he just took it off the foot of the defender and put it into the back of the net. Then we have a 56th minute goal assisted by Matheus Nunes. Plays it through to Raul Jimenez. Raul Jimenez sort of gets lucky, but oh, the little dink up into a volley. Oh, safe to say, I absolutely loved watching that. Absolutely loved watching that. And then, obviously, like I said, I brought him off. Sasa comes on, 83rd minute. Sasa scores. And I think, okay, we've got two decent strikers. Sasa comes in, nice and big, powerful header into the goal. Sasa gets his first of the game. And that wasn't to be the last goal. Sasa scores again. And what you know, another big header at the back post. And that was a 5-0 demolition of Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. And after that moment, we followed it up. A 3-1 win over Man United. Raul Jimenez again getting the hat-trick. And you just can't stop this guy at the moment. Raul Jimenez is absolutely on fire in this system. And like I said, I've got Sasa and we've got Fabio coming back. And I'm sort of like, oh, he's 32 years old. Do I keep him for another season? I mean, the bloke scored loads of goals this season. Absolutely loads of goals. Like, I think he came third in the... obviously, Haaland came top. But Raul Jimenez just seemed to absolutely dismantle Man United here. And I do genuinely think, do I keep him for one more season or do I try and cash in on him now while he's scored a load of goals? You know what I mean? And I still can't work out what to do. Maybe somebody can comment down below and let me know what they think I should do with Raul Jimenez. We then went on to beat Bournemouth 3-2, Leicester 2-1, demolished Brentford 4-0 in the Premier League, and then lost 2-1 to them in the semi-final. And to be honest, look at the goal that wins it for them. I can't moan at this goal. This goal that wins it for them was sublime. The ball goes to the back post. Pinnock knocks it down to the Silva. Onyeka to Yano, and Yano just fires it into the back of the net. Nothing Jose Sarr could do about that. And Brentford go on to the FA Cup final against Arsenal, I want to say. Let's quickly check. Liverpool, which they lost 2-0. So I think we just still lost against Liverpool anyway. Liverpool seemed to dismantle us every time we played them. Beat Everton 1-0. Then we didn't show up at all for the Fulham game. We didn't show up at all. I don't know what happened. We then got smashed by Liverpool. As I said, 2-0. We were nowhere in this game. I don't even know what we were doing. Like, you can see by our ratings, both our centre-backs, 6.2s. We beat Arsenal 1-0. Beat Villa 3-1 and then lost on the final day of the season 1-0 to Crystal Palace. So with all that being said, I bet you're wondering, so what were the transfers? Well, these are the transfers. And everything that's done on the 27th of the 6th was obviously done by Wolves themselves in real life. Fabio Silva going out, Romain Saiz going out, Bowley going out, Gibbs White going out, then Donker, Ruddy, Marcel, a massive chunk of the team going out. And that was concerning. It is concerning, even in real life, that many players were allowed to let go. And we're not even talking about the fact that Connor Cody doesn't appear to be here either. You know what I mean? Where is Connor Cody in this list? But he's definitely out on loan at Everton. We sent out a load more players on loan. You know, the youngsters and that. We finally got rid of Leo Bonatini. Been hanging around the club for a while now and decided it was probably best we cash in on him. Let him go. So he went to, I think that's a Brazilian team. Yeah. Fortaleza. For 975,000. I probably butchered that. A couple more players went out on loan. Then Daniel Podence left. And I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do this deal or not. Because he'd started well. He'd done a relatively decent start to the season, the first 4 games. And I didn't really want to get rid of him. But at the same time, he wasn't getting in the team. At the time, at the start of the season, he just wasn't getting in. And I thought, well, we may as well cash in on him. So we eventually decided we're going to let him go. And he went off to Tigres in Mexico. Yerson Mosquera, Keita Dua, a couple more loans. Leonardo Campana finally left in December, 31st of December. He went into Miami for 1.3 million. January, we let a few more players go out on loan. And then this is the big one. Ruben Neves. I did not want Ruben Neves to leave. I will put that out there. I was adamant I wanted to keep him. Problem was, he didn't want to sign a contract. He liked the interest in him. He wasn't going to sign a contract. He had 6 months left. And I was like, okay. I said to him, how much is it going to take to keep you? He said 85,000. I offered him 85. I offered him everything he wanted. 85,000 plus The whole lot, wage after career, everything. I offered him everything I could. And he still chose Newcastle. He still decided that, no, I don't want to play for you anymore. And I thought, well, I'm going to accept these bids off Newcastle, and I think there was another team as well. Because if you weren't going to sign a contract with me, I at least wanted some money for him. And albeit 26.5 is not the amount of money I wanted. I wanted a lot more for him. I was very disappointed. I'm still disappointed about it. I would have loved to keep Ruben Neves. Jack Scott then went out loan. And then here's another one. Adama Traore left for 31 million, was it? 31 million. Only played 3 times for Tottenham. That's unfortunate for them. The bid came in for Adama, and I was sort of sat there going, okay. We lost Daniel Podence. We got Neto. We got Guedes. Do we need Adama? Adama doesn't fit the way I play. I like to play with inside forwards. Adama is a winger. I was like, okay, I'm going to accept this bidder. 31.5 million. It was above his valuation at the time. I was like, I'm going to accept this. And he ended up leaving for 31.5 million, and he played 3 times for Tottenham. So it proved I was right to make that decision. Hwang Hee-chan. Another one that a lot of Wolves fans don't believe is good enough for Wolves. He left for 6.25 million. We paid 12, so we lost half the money on him. But you look at the way he played for Wolves, 13 appearances, 6.56 in the first half of the season. Wasn't good enough. He wasn't playing nearly as well as I'd like, so he just went. Diego Costa, moaning about playing time, wanted to play. Obviously, in this iteration of the game, Raul Jimenez is able to play, so is Sasa. Neither of them are injured. So Diego Costa was moaning. He was never going to get in the team ahead of them two. So I let him go. Came for free. Sold for 2 million. Good business. And then a couple more players went out on loan. So I hear you ask, well, with all them players going, with Neves going, with Traore going, what did you do? Well, the club brought in Sasa, Nathan, Gonzalo, Matthias, and a few other lower players, and Boubacar. That was what the club did. Spending a hell of a lot of money. Matheus Nunes, I believe, will come good. I think Guedes will come good. Nathan Collins, maybe a bit more of one for a future, but potentially could come good. And if you can keep Sasa fit, I think he'd be an interesting player for the Premier League. He's very tall. He has that Peter Crouch kind of look about him. I think he could come good. So, to the stuff that I did. After watching a few of the games, I realised we don't have a backup left back apart from Hugo Bueno. And don't get me wrong, I like Hugo Bueno. I think he's going to be a good player. Do I think he's Premier League quality at this moment? No. Not in this version of the game anyway. So, I was like, right, I need a backup. So I signed Victor Christensen, the Danish wonder kid. We paid £8 million from Copenhagen for him. He was superb. All season, he was superb. I know it says he only got 6.86. I know it says he only got 4 assists. But he was solid as a rock at the back. We conceded a lot less goals when he was in the team than what we did when Ryan Aït-Nouri was in the team. When Ryan was in the team, he seemed to miss a lot of his headers, his tackles. And we seem to be... I got nervous every time I brought him on. So 8 million rising to 12.25 million. I think it's a very good deal. He's now worth 31 to 45. So massive profit to be taken there. We brought in Martin Neto. Now, I brought him in on loan. I wanted to see what he was like. He never made his way into the team, really. He played 5 games. And after those 5 games, he was recalled. We didn't really get to see much of him. Don't think he'll be coming back. The next purchase was Dani Ceballos from Real Madrid. Obviously went up for £5 million. Everyone knows he goes up for sale in this game. He went up for £5 million. I thought £5 million for somebody who plays for Real Madrid, has played at Arsenal for the last 2 years, so can obviously do it in the Premier League. I think that's a good deal. So I paid the £5 million. And he was brought in on the 1st of the 9th. We didn't have much money. Dani Ceballos has had an average season. He's played 7 starts, 8 substitutions, 6.69. You would consider that a poor season. He always did the job when he came on. He held 6.7 most games. And that's why his ratings down there like that. So overall, a good backup signing that I will probably look to keep next season. Victor Nelson. Now, this man confuses the hell out of me. Attribute-wise, he is really good. Bar the acceleration and pace. Is incredibly inconsistent. And yet, the report says he's very consistent. And I don't think he is. He played 23 games, 6.73. Between him, Kilman, and Collins, it just didn't... It never seemed to... I couldn't tell which was my best two. You know what I mean? Victor is rated the best in the CDM role. In the CD role. He was rated the best when he came in. Now he's only rated the same as Kilman and Cody. Obviously, Cody will be leaving. Going to look to bring in another defender next year to pair alongside him. Because I don't think Kilman and Collins are good enough to be Premier League defenders. I think they've got the potential to be good enough. But at this present moment, I don't think either of them are good enough. And I think that's why we struggled so much at the start of the season. And bringing in this guy seemed to definitely help us. We then also brought in January, this is now. We brought in David Fratesi? David. We brought in David from Sassuolo. £25 million. Now valued at 42 to 46 million. Played as that box-to-box midfielder. Played it incredibly well. He was really solid all season. Really solid. Really enjoyed using him. Enjoys big matches. Fairly consistent. Decent Premier League player. He has the legs I like. He's got stamina. He's got natural fitness. He just looked the perfect one to be a box-to-box. And that's why we brought him in. He played well. 7.04 over 17 appearances. 1 goal, 4 assists. I was very happy with the way David played. And he will be staying next season, that's for sure. Sivert Mansverk is the Ruben Neves replacement. The Norwegian 21-year-old. Signed for 7.25 million. 3 assists, 1 goal. He's playing in the deep line playmaker here in the defensive midfield. He still has some work to do on his technicals and whatever else. In fact, I saw him. I thought, you know what? This might be the guy. The guy. I know it says he's operating at championship level, but he doesn't play like that at all. He's got a 7.04, 13 appearances, 1 goal, 3 assists. I think he's played superbly. I will definitely be keeping him. He is the man I am building this team around, quite simply. And then finally we have Thiago Almada. And you're probably sitting there going, well, you've got Guedes. Why do you need Thiago Almada? And we had no backups. Once I sold Dharma Traore, I realised, we have no backups at all. So maybe I need to bring in a player. And Thiago became available for 16 million. And I thought, you know what? Everyone knows Thiago Almada. He's a bit of an FM gem. Always has been. I think he is a very good backup to Guedes. I'd be very surprised if he ever overtakes him. But I think he is a very good backup to Guedes. For 16 million, you can't complain. He's got good all-round stats. So those were the players we brought in. Those were the players we let go. This is the tactic we used. A sweeper keeper, wing backs, ball-playing defender, deep line playmaker. You know, the standard 4-3-3. Very standard Gengham press 4-3-3. Worked superbly. In terms of the age of the squad now, we're looking at for next season. The squad is relatively young. We've got a few players approaching 30 plus. We got, obviously, Moutinho. He's signed a new 2-year deal. He is here purely now as backup and to tutor the new boys coming through. Raul Jimenez. Oh, Raul. I don't know what I'm going to do with Raul. Because the bloke's worth some money now. He has had a superb season, scoring 21 in 32. 1 assist, 4 player of the matches. He has had a superb season. And with Fabio coming back, that means either Fabio or Sasser is not going to get as much game time. It begs the question, do I remove Jimenez from the equation? Do I sell Jimenez while he's worth money? Wolves played 33.5 million for him 4 years ago. So, if we sold him for 30 million, we've effectively made our money back. Bar the wages, of course. And it also knocks 100k a week. So, Jimenez potentially might not be here next season. Jose Sarr potentially could be upgraded, potentially has another season in him. I might use him for another season. he did relatively well. He conceded 47 and 36. A lot of the time, it wasn't his fault that he conceded some of them. 14 clean sheets was the third best in the league. So I think he's good for one more season. And then I'll have to look to bring in maybe somebody else. He might do 2 seasons. Who knows? Nelson Semedo is obviously starting to get on a bit now. A good season from him. Definitely pinned down that right back role. Will he be the starting right back next season? Probably. Will he be that at the season after that? Probably not. We're going to have to start looking at bringing someone in. Johnny, obviously, also behind him, plays right back. He's potentially going to go as well. Juventus obviously want him. I'm thinking about getting rid of these players that are going to give me some money to spend. You know what I mean? Tobias will still be here. Guedes will still be here. Kilman will be here in a capacity. Will he be here as a starter? Probably not. Sassa's going to remain here, starter or backup to Jimenez. Sarkic will be here as a backup. Ronan. And it's disappointing me that I'm going to have to say this, but Ronan is potentially going to be leaving. He had a very good season. 3 goals, 1 assist in 25 appearances in the Premier League. I think he did really well for his first season in the Premier League. Unfortunately, you look at his scout report, he is only ever going to be a leading Sky Bet Championship player. And as a team that is looking to progress, hit the top 4 more often, a leading Sky Bet Championship player as a backup is not good enough. So Conor Ronan will be leaving as well. But I'm glad he managed to get a season in the Premier League under his belt. Nunez will be staying. He was absolutely rock solid for us this season. 36 appearances, 11 goals, 2 assists. Really good player in that central midfielder attacking role. Will definitely be playing next season. First choice. Bruno Jordao, coming back from his loan. He probably won't remain. He will probably go as well. Victor Nelson will obviously still be here. Totti possibly will be here as cover. David will still be here. Bender Guezbola will not be here either. He will be going. Chiquinho, I haven't decided with Chiquinho yet. I think he's a good player. Do I think he's the right player for Wolves? We're not playing with wingers. We're playing with inverted. Now, if I can convert him into an inside forward on attack, then maybe he has a chance here. However, in order for him to get the game time to be that inside forward, he would need Almada and Guedes to disappear. Or at least one of them to disappear. And neither of them are going anywhere. So Chiquinho potentially is going to leave. He is wanted by Celtic. He could potentially leave. Which I feel bad for because I've seen this lad play. And I think he's got the potential to be a really good player. Obviously 23 years old now in the Premier League. He lost a full season. In the game, he's not going to make it. Pedro Neto, the boy wonder. £63 million rating on him in-game. Had a superb season. 7 average rating across the league. 7.1 across the cup. He was absolutely superb for us. 11 goals, 7 assists. He will 100% be staying next season. He is probably one of our best players at the club. He will be staying. Armada, we've already spoke about. He will be staying. Nathan Collins will be playing backup next season. Him and Kilman will be playing backup to Nelson and the new signing. He's just not quite there yet. Nathan Collins, he's not quite there yet. He's see what I mean? He's a leading Sky Bet Championship. He's not quite there playing the back four in the Premier League and win us stuff. And I definitely think that's where we had a lot of our problems. Ryan Aït-Nouri, who I'm not sure what I'm doing with. He's got the potential, but every time I played him, I feel like his mistakes were part of the reason we'd lose a game. He worried me at the back. He lost his starting place to Christensen. He will be staying. He won't be as important as what he has been in the previous seasons, but he will be staying. Boubacar Traore, as you can see, barely played. Probably will not be staying at the club. I will be looking to move Boubacar Traore on. Obviously, his loan expires, and we're not gonna extend it. Sivert will be staying. Fabio Silva has done well over it at Anderlecht. Premier Division player. He could potentially be the backup to Sasa, or he could play ahead of Sasa. Probably will play ahead of Sasa if Jimenez goes. Fabio Silva, potentially the man. Hugo Bueno, really like this man. I think he has loads of potential, more than what they're letting on here. Is he the man for Wolves? He's played 10 times this season, all from the subs bench. He will be leaving. And then finally we have Victor Christensen, who will be our main left back next season. In terms of what have we got coming up in the under-21s, Connor Cody, I've had enough of him. He can go. Not happy. Don't want him here. If he wants to be the way he is at the moment and he wants to go to Everton, then he can go. Everton obviously sent him back. I would keep him around, but he's unlikely to improve. And while he's got that leadership that would be really good, he wants to play games. And I don't think he's going to be good enough when I bring in the new boys. Same for Sanderson. Don't think he's ever going to have the ability, so he's going to go as well. Ryan Giles, really unfortunate that he's not going to get a chance. But he's a left-footed player. We have two very good left-backs. Admittedly, Aït-Nouri could be a problem, but we have two very good left-backs. We have inside forwards. We're never going to use Ryan Giles unless we retrain him to play on the right. And he just doesn't have the stats for that. And then obviously a load of other players. We haven't really got anyone coming through that I could potentially look at. Corbreno, Kundal, maybe. Kiana, maybe. But again, none of them good enough really at the moment in terms of their potential to ever potentially crack the first team. Nathan Fraser doesn't look a bad little prospect. Again, 17 years old, still needs a bit of work doing to him. And also Leon also needs a little bit of work doing to him. He's nowhere near ready yet. So, and I don't think these two will ever make it into the Premier League either, unfortunately. Under 18s wise, we had a decent youth intake. We look at the potential. We had Lyndon Minshall come in, 6'6" monster. He's going to be one to watch. He is currently being trained to play as an advanced forward, so hopefully we can see him develop over the next few seasons. And we also brought in Gregor Leyland, who is going to play as the inside forward on the left. I think he has that potential ability. He is 16 years old, so there is plenty of time for him to learn to do that role. And again, he has a very high potential. So there is room for some decent players to come into this squad. Next season, we will be looking to finish in the top half again. I think, top half finish, and I want us to reach the knockout stages of Euro. But that is going to end today's episode and season 1 of the Wolverhampton Save. If you've enjoyed it, please drop a like. I know it's something different that we don't normally do on this channel, Football Manager. We don't normally do it, but I wanted to show off season 1 as Wolves and show you what I've been doing. Smite has been down for a couple of days. Rather, a couple of hours. Couple of hours Smite has been down. And I haven't been able to play it. So I haven't been able to get a video out for today. So that's why we're doing this one. I thought might as well do something a little bit different. My ETS is playing up. There's a mod. I'm not sure which mod it is, but there's a mod that is crashing the game when I go into the job market. So I'm unable to do jobs at the moment, which is a bit of a pain in the backside as well. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please drop a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And leave a comment. Comments are good. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you for the next one.